And a very good evening to you. Welcome to 360 Sports on Trust Television. And of course, it's time for us to talk about everything happening in the world of sport. It's pretty much slim, but of course, there are matches, there are events panning out in the world of sport. I'm not alone in the studio. My name is Mardia Umar First, but my ride or die is also here.
It's always a pleasure to be here, Mardia.
How you doing? So how's a day after Boxing Day?
Yes, well, we got all the explosions that we actually thought we would get from the EPL. Of course, Boxing Day is always full of action, and this year was not different.
Was it different? Were you expecting what you saw yesterday?
Pretty much. After a break like this, when it comes the way it came, definitely some things might change, some things might stay the same. Well, Arsenal haven't missed a beat. They're still as strong as they were before the break. Newcastle continued from where they left off.
Oh, okay.
And all these things.
I think you should just save your thoughts when we get into the conversation that involves the fixtures, how it turned out, and then the fixtures for today. So let's take a look at the MPFL. It seems the MPFL has been in the news like on a daily basis, and there's a reason for that. And that's because the draw for the Nigerian Professional Football League for 2022-2023 will be taking place on the 28th of December 2022. And the IMC is to hold a glamorous event, a draw event for the Abridged League. There have been some controversies surrounding that Abridged League. But what do you think about that? Finally, we're having to see this draw after, we have an interim management committee that was constituted. We have whole new faces in the NFF. And then this is like the first Nigerian Professional Football League after the Minister of Sports and Youth and Sport have talked about how we can improve the MPFL. Finally, the draw is here, and play, if it happens to take place on the 28th, and then we'll see action on the 1st of January.
We'll see action on the 1st of January, but the thing is, the operative word in the statement whenever we're talking about the league for this, or should I say next season, is abridged. That is the operative word in that statement. We're going to play an abridged league, which means the league is not going to run the normal course that we know is going to run usually. So that is one thing. So I don't know what the main rationale behind everything and how we're going to plan it with all the logistics and everything, and how we're going to make it and squeeze and compress this league into like 4 or 5 months,
5 months.
And finish it in between that period, and all that. All these things are controversies that are surrounding our league, and we need to revamp and we need to make things better. But we're hoping that this could be a stepping stone to something else. If they're trying to harmonize their league, our league, with others around the world, then I think it's fine, because we're ending in May. That's when other leagues actually end as well. We go to the off season together, and then hopefully when we return, we'll return back as other leagues are returning as well. So I think maybe it's a stepping stone towards that. But still, I really would like to see how this thing will unfold over the next couple of months, so that we'll see how they can be able to jam-pack this league into 5 months.
Okay, so get into the league and then to draw the play, and then in 5 months' time, the MPFL is saying that the 2022-2023 season champions will be getting a whooping sum of 100 million naira. And of course, the chairman of the interim management committee actually made that statement, Elegbeye. He confirmed the prize money for the winner of the 2022-2023 Nigerian Professional Football League. And he said this on a show, on Kenny's radio, to be precise. So the former Director General of the Nigerian Sport Commission confirmed that the winner would get that sum of the money, but it has to be after this. Do you think that 100 million naira, if this is being announced and made a lot of noise about, then this is the highest perhaps they must have seen, in the history of MPFL wins?
Yes, well, we've always talked about it. There's not enough investment in our league. There's not enough money there. I mean, like, when you look at it, that's why a lot of private individuals don't like bankrolling football clubs, because at the end of the day, what do you get? What do you actually win when you do that? Because every private investor is looking at return on investment. That's why we have so much government involvement when it comes to our league. Almost all our teams are owned by state governments, because they are the ones who can can afford to operate at a loss. No private investor wants to put his money where he knows he's not going to get returns. So we're always saying that we need more money in the league, we need more investment, and I hope that these kind of things that are coming up right now, if you know that you're going to make an investment and then at the end of the day reap 100 million and then you find out whether or not you're going to make profit out of that, I think it's a good one. And that means a lot of people might want to come and put the money in the league and see how it goes. So I think it's a very good start that we're having this amount of money for as for the prize winners and of course the ultimate winners of the league to get that money. So it's a very good one, and I hope it takes us in the right direction that we want to go, because we really need to see more private involvement in our league. Once we get private people coming in to take up clubs, to sponsor, to make investments, that is when we can be able to have a finished product that we can sell to the world. But right now, we don't have it.
Okay, so like I said before, there've been some kind of controversy surrounding the Abridged league, and also, you know, there was this hullabaloo surrounding the IMC and then what club managers want. You know, prior to this time, our league is still on when CAF is asking for top teams. You know, you just scamper and get the top 5 at that time. We've seen how this has affected our play in the African tournament, you know, the CAF Confederation Cup and the CAF Champions League. And Elegbe Leye is actually coming up to say that, okay, this is what happened between all of us. He said that the peaking format of choice, they came back and it wasn't right, and at the end of July, it wasn't an option. And that's why they're giving this window. We want to play in 5 months. We have to squeeze it in. In May, we get a winner, and then we can. He gave actually the first option they gave before then was the fact that, you know, the league will end in July. When the CAF asks for representation, you just give them the top people at that time, which the club managers are saying, no, you cannot do that. Most of the clubs we have belongs to the government. We are private, some of us, or about 5 of the clubs are owned by private individuals. And, you know, we need money, we need to be out there as well. We need to push ourselves because we need fundings for all of these things. But now he has come out to explain that. And initially, we're finding answers to why there was so much controversy rocking, you know, this MPFL, the Interim Management Committee, and the League Management Committee around this, where we have, you know, some of them saying that you cannot dictate, or you cannot dictate rather, or you can't dictate what's happening, but you cannot also dictate to what happens to the league because you're not the organizers. That's a statement from Adama saying that to the club owners, so to speak. So do you think that, you know, this is a wise decision that has been made so far to squeeze it in, because we'll be having plays back to back?
Well, the thing is, whether it's a wise decision or not, we'll have to figure out the rationale behind why they want to do it. If they want to harmonize the calendar, they want to harmonize our league with the leagues of other nations, fine. I think it's a good idea for us to try to do that.
So we have to suffer this season.
But yes, exactly. Pains have to be, we have to go through some growing pains. If that is the thing, if it means for us to abridge the league so that we can actually harmonize it with other leagues that are across the continent or across the world, then I think it's a good thing for us to do that. Unfortunately, we could have done this like maybe 3-4 months ago, and then, you know, try to squeeze it into like 6, 7, 8 months at least. Give yourself some more breathing space. What I always keep on saying is that these players, they're not machines. They are players as well. You understand? They're people. They're human beings. They go there. They put their bodies on the line. Yes, it's their profession, it's their job, and they get paid for it. But still, you have to consider these players as well. How many games are they going to be playing per week? How many games per month? How many minutes will they be able to will they play? Are they fit enough to do that? Do we have the facilities to be able to take care of injured players and get them back on track when the need arises? So that's why I feel the pain of club owners. It's going to cost them more to actually jam-pack this league where in this manner. Had it be, it would be different if it was spread out, because they would have had time to recover and do all these things, raise funds in between the season and the rest of it. But now they're going to have almost a solid budget, because they're going to be traveling, they're going to have fixed accommodation, logistics, all these things, and they're coming back to back like that. So I understand their pain, but still, if we are going to improve, if we're going to get to where we need to get, sacrifices have to be made, and I think these are part of the sacrifices.
Okay, so we will wait for whatever happens and let's see which team will be drawn against the other team. All we want is for the NPFL to start as soon as possible. January 8th is the time, it's a date for the 2022-2023 Nigerian Professional Football League tournament. It's kickstarting at that time. But away from, the NPFL controversies and also the money, the mouth-watering offer that will be given to the club that emerges the winner. Let's talk about the World Cup. There's a lot of things emerging after the World Cup, just like you have other tournaments, there are good things you say about the tournament and there are also bad things that you might want to say about the tournament as well. There's this talk, like I made a mistake, it's very, very serious when a referee or an official of a match come out to say, oh, between this team and the other team, I made a mistake. And that is actually what we are hearing from the World Cup right now. But, Ronaldo was one of the victims. I wouldn't say a victim, but that's what the Turkish president Erdogan is saying. He was a victim of political veto. That's what he's saying. He said that Ronaldo has gone through so much. The coach of Portugal didn't really treat Ronaldo very, very well. And he told a young forum that unfortunately they have imposed a political veto on him. Now, there's a lot of things coming. We've been hearing, getting reactions. After the World Cup, we've seen a lot of news. People have gotten, the kind of transfers they want after the signed deals that they want to have after the World Cup. And now this is coming after a man who a lot of people declared favorite. Him and his team declared favorite to win the World Cup just for so many reasons. And now the president of Turkey is saying that, this is what happened to Ronaldo. He's just a victim of political veto. Do you agree with?
No, I think the main reason why a lot of people wanted Ronaldo to win the World Cup is probably the main reason why a lot of people wanted Messi to win the World Cup, just because they like them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just the truth of the matter, because you wanted to get one over the other side, and that's that. Ronaldo, a lot of people have their opinions about him. All we know that is he's an amazing player. He's an absolutely fantastic player, brilliant player, and that we are all privileged to have been witnessed his greatness. The Turkish president is an outspoken person, and he has opinions about a lot of things, most especially football. We remember when the Özil issue and all that, and he had a lot to say about it as well. So if he's saying that Ronaldo was a victim of political veto, well, maybe he knows something that we don't. But I don't think Fernando Santos, because of politics or because of Ronaldo's politics, will want to jeopardize his chances of winning the World Cup or having a very good showing at the World Cup to bench him just because he wanted to make a political statement. Yes, we tried as much as possible to divorce football from politics, but it's really difficult. And of course, just because you're a player doesn't mean that you shouldn't have your political views. But if you're being persecuted, because of those political views, then that means there's a problem. I really don't think that is the case, but if Erdogan is saying it, maybe he heard something, maybe somebody told him something and he knows something that we don't. But I really I don't believe Fernando Santos as a professional will actually will put his career on the line and the success of his team on the line because of political differences. We all saw how the Portuguese game changed when Ronaldo was benched. They played an absolute blinder without him. I mean, like, the young man that replaced him came and scored a hat-trick. So he was vindicated at that when he said it was a tactical choice to actually keep Ronaldo on the bench, and that he slowed them down or something like that. But so I don't really think it was anything political. And if it was, then I think Fernando Santos would have been committing career suicide by doing that. I mean, like, you can't take decisions on the football pitch because of things that happen off it. It doesn't really work like that, most especially when it comes to things like politics. Had it been he has a personal problem with Ronaldo, then that would have been a different case, because we see that all the time. But I don't think it's basically because of politics. He has an idea of how he wants his team to play, and unfortunately Ronaldo did not fit in that. It's just the same thing that happened to Manchester United. Before he granted that interview that got him kicked out of Manchester United, he was not really playing that well. He wasn't playing that much as well, because the coach thought that whatever he did, we wanted to play, Ronaldo didn't fit into it. So that's just basically what it is. That interview was just the icing on the cake. It was the last straw that broke the camel's back, and then he had to be sent on his way. So I don't really think there's anything political about Fernando Santos's choice to leave Ronaldo on the bench in the World Cup. But if Erdogan is saying it, maybe he heard something that we don't know.
Okay, probably he heard something we do not know about. Because in sports, yes, we see a lot of actions on the pitch, and then press conferences, and then interviews granted by players or management team of a particular club. But there's a lot that we do not know as fans of football all over the world. But away from the World Cup and everything that has to do with Ronaldo, how he was treated by the head coach, according to the Turkish president, let's move to the Premier League. Of course, the Premier League returned on Boxing Day, and a lot of teams have been basking in the euphoria of their wins. Teams like Arsenal are still very happy that they returned back stronger, and well, a lot of people will say better. And other teams are still maintaining the pace they left off before the World Cup. But their fixtures for this evening, the first match that will be played will be around 6:30 p.m. It will be between Chelsea and Bournemouth, and then we have another match will be at 9 p.m., which is between Manchester United and Nottingham Forest. Now, Ibrahim, looking at these fixtures, Chelsea has not been in a very good form.
Yeah, if there's a team that actually needs to do something differently, I think it's Chelsea. They haven't had a very good start to the season, and there were lots of hope when Chelsea started this season. And they changed the manager, a new manager came in, started well, and then things started to fall apart again. And lots of other things that are going on off the pitch, administratively, the management and all that. So I think if there's a team that actually needs something to change, I think it is Chelsea. They need to get on a good run of games. They need to have a good run of games, get some results under their belt so that they can be able to climb up the ladder. A lot of people did not believe that they'll be seeing Chelsea as far down as they're seeing them now. At this stage of the season, really, they should be rubbing it with the big boys as far as everything was concerned. They were supposed to build on what happened last season. But unfortunately, that's not happening right now. So I think they need to have a solid second half of the season to be able to finish strongly. Yes, they have a very good chance of making it into the top four if they get the right results and, of course, keep with the right attitude and the rest of it. But and there's a good game they're getting coming back now, coming against Bournemouth, because Bournemouth is like a box of chocolates. You actually don't know what you're getting. Sometimes they play fantastically well, other times they're not so good. And so I think it's a very good opportunity for Chelsea to start up on the right foot when it comes to the second half of the season, just like we saw Liverpool actually did yesterday. They got a very good results to actually galvanize their season as well, because they have been having a topsy-turvy season as well. So Chelsea need that, and I think they can get a good result today will really help them for the remainder of the season.
Speaking about yesterday's match, Newcastle and Leicester, did you see that coming?
Yeah, actually, I totally saw that coming.
Yes, we talked about it.
We talked about it. Newcastle are in absolutely phenomenal form. I mean, like, Newcastle are a team right now that feel they can beat anybody. They actually feel that they can beat anybody, and they can, because they're a cohesive unit. I mean, we have players that actually have been there for so long, but now they're playing like they're possessed, you know? Miguel Almiron is coming to the fore. I mean, like, even Joe Linton is contributing. I mean, he used to be one of the players that I thought was absolutely lazy, but now he's actually doing it. I don't know what Eddie Howe is doing to that team.
Yeah, so it could be a management thing.
I think so. I don't know what Eddie Howe is feeding those boys or what he's telling those boys, but they're absolutely phenomenal right now, and they're flying. Really, if the season ends today, where will Newcastle be? They'll be right there at the top with the rest of them. So
and it's Champions League
exactly,
awaits them.
Exactly. And right now they can dream. They can actually dream. The dream coming into this season was to qualify for Europe, any kind of Europe, whether it's the Conference League or the Europa League or any other one. But right now they can truly dream of the Champions League, because lots of pundits are now saying, okay, fine, they are going to displace somebody in that top four. All right, we're saying, okay, fine. Right now we have Arsenal, Manchester United, and Newcastle. They are there.
Manchester United is on the 5th position now, and let's see what they play today.
So Manchester United, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool are going to have to fight it out for the last remaining Champions League spot. And any of those teams that actually misses out on the Champions, it's a disaster for them. And it's all because Newcastle United right now are disrupting the old guard that we know.
It's not longer business as usual.
Exactly. They're right there with the big boys, and they're playing fantastic football. They played an amazing game yesterday. You understand?
So if there's anything Newcastle United has taught other teams is the fact that you do not need all of the big players to revamp your team.
You don't need to go crazy. Newcastle have tons of money. They have loads of money, and they can buy whoever it is they want to buy if it comes to splashing out the cash. But they're being systematic about it. They're looking at areas that they need to strengthen, and they're getting the players to actually do that. They're not minding the names, and they're not minding the figure, but at least they're getting the players that are doing the business for them. And Eddie Howe has an idea of where he wants to take the team. He has an idea of how he wants them to play. And fortunately for him, the players are giving him that. I really did not believe Eddie Howe would have been the man to take Newcastle to where they want to get. And right now I'm being proven wrong, because for now, they're doing absolutely fantastic. Yes, Leicester are not the team that they used to be.
Yes.
Leicester are not the team that they used to be, but still, I mean, like, if you watched yesterday's game, you can see that these are a team playing with confidence. They have the belief, they're playing with that swagger in their step, and of course, they're getting the results to go with it. So, really great job, amazing job by Eddie Howe at Newcastle.
A lot of people are wondering where this confidence came from for the Newcastle players, but I think it's something that should rub off on most of the teams that are struggling. Like Southampton yesterday had to remain at the bottom. Just like
Southampton are not having a very good season. I mean, like, they're having a terrible season when you look at it. And right now they're bottom of the league, and they don't seem to have any idea of how they're going to get out of this rut as it is right now. They thought it was the manager. They tried to switch it up. It didn't work. Maybe it's the players. Maybe they need to do something in January. It's going to be really tough. It's going to be really tough, because yesterday, when you watch yesterday's game, you can see players that are playing with no heart. I mean, like, you can see the defeat written all over them, and it's not a good thing for any club to be in that kind of position, most especially a team with the following of Southampton.
It definitely will affect the mental health of the players and the management.
And it's all about mentality. So you can see them walking around, not really giving their best, and it's a downer, especially for fans, to actually see your players not really giving 100% when they go on the field. I hope things turn around for them. I really do, but it doesn't seem like it right now.
Okay, so we have another match in the English Premier League this evening. That match will be in between Manchester United and Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, before the World Cup, you know, made a lot of noise about defeating Arsenal, displacing Arsenal, but it didn't come to that. And now for Manchester United, who's trying to maintain top four. And then you know what Nottingham Forest can be sometimes.
Nottingham Forest are a very good example of how not to spend your money.
Oh,
yes.
I see.
If you're looking for a classic example of how not to spend your money, then you look at Nottingham Forest. You can look at Fulham a few seasons ago. They did the same thing.
Why is that?
Because they bought a boatload of players. They bought a ton of players. And it's really not working. It's not working as it is right now. So that means it's not about buying. You buy whoever it is on the market, you go out there and you buy 16, 17, 18 players, and then you put them all in one place, and then you expect to get, it doesn't work like that. So I think that is the reason why Nottingham Forest are where they are right now. But you can expect a freak result from them every now and then. Against Arsenal, Liverpool, they did fantastically well against all these teams, and you never expected them to. So you can expect that when it comes to Nottingham Forest. They're not really getting it right in all the departments, but they managed to pull out one or two freak results out of the bag.
Exactly.
And with the Manchester United that we have now, with this current Manchester United, anything is possible. Really,
anything is possible.
Anything is absolutely possible. You can see the Manchester
There's a lot
United.
of uncertainty, though.
Of course there is. That is the thing that's surrounding Manchester United now. Back in the days when you see Manchester United, when you hear Manchester United and you know and you see the opponents they're playing against, you can bet your house that Manchester United are going to go and play an absolute blinder. But now, you're not really sure. You can have a Manchester United that can go out there and beat somebody 5-0, 6-0, and then you can have the same Manchester United going somewhere and getting absolutely hammered, and you really can't tell. So right now, I don't call Manchester United games. Really, I do not call Manchester United games.
Wow.
I wait until after they play the game and they finish, then we go and analyze what they did right or what they did wrong. That is just what we do.
I hope that is not the case this evening because a lot of Manchester United will definitely come for you. But no worry, you're fine.
Of course I am. Of course I am.
All right, that game will be at 9 p.m. this evening, and we can't wait for all of the actions and the thrillers from the resumed Premier League. And that's so much we can take, but thank you so much, Ibrahim. I wish I could go on talking sports with you, but
sports is like that. I mean, like when you start talking about sports, you never.
And then before you know the time,
exactly.
There's no time to talk more.
Exactly, but it's always a pleasure to be here.
All right, it's always a pleasure to have you on the sport table.
Of course.
Ride or die. All right, that's the program this evening. Join us again. Don't forget, it's 10 a.m. to 10:30 and 5:30 p.m. only on Trust Television. My name is Martia Umar. Bye for now.